Hanaina orasa la aima ya wete, irga yie ira en eg Ælis, ta ai ika. Malis and I are happy to welcome you to the 13th video in the tutorial series of the Ælis language. Today we'll discuss two new components of the language. As opposed to the elements in the previous videos, these components do not divide sentences into different parts, but they do serve an important purpose in the morphology, which is the structure of the word level. These two components are called the characteristic and the referent. Let's start with the characteristic. The characteristic is always marked by one particular root word, which is the root word m. It provides additional information about a particular argument in the sentence. This information can be a trait such as size, age, color, shape, etc. of the argument in question. The characteristic is therefore very comparable to an adjective. Let's look at an example. The word koremi, as we know, is the Ælis word for cat. The word akiraan literally means a lot of spatial length, and therefore it means large or largeness. If we link these two words by the characteristic particle m, we get koremi m akiraan, which simply means a big or large cat. Traditionally, the adjective follows the noun in Ælis. There is also a way to let the adjective precede the noun, but that is something we'll get back to in the next video. Let's look at a few other examples. Niwe ira em na ira, a good mother. Doeli aneda ira em zuaira, literally water from above which is low in temperature, or simply cold rain. Tewe ira em ika, the third child, etc. As you can see, the characteristic is pretty transparent. If you attach m behind a word, then the following word will be an adjective of that word. But there is an interesting trick. A preceding noun is not always necessary. For example, the root word ve means value. The word veira means high value. If we prefix m, we get veira, valuable. Now, in spite of the characteristic particle m, this word can still be a noun. This depends on the head or tail position within the cluster. Iramdi ira hayi akiraan yaka ora veira. Please remove all valuables. So, in essence, what the characteristic does is expanding a noun by adding information to it. Now, let's look at that other particle, which is called the referent. The referent is always indicated by this morpheme, vae. In a way, the referent does the opposite of the characteristic. It limits the preceding word by putting it into a frame where the word applies. The referent can be a bit confusing at first because it can be used for expressing several things that in English grammar are completely unrelated. For starters, the referent can be used in comparative structures. Ha akira aneda ya ete. There is a big length, which is vertical, given to you. In other words, ha akira aneda ya ete means you are tall. Ha akira aneda ya ete vai ite. If you are compared to him, there is much vertical length, or simply, you are taller than him. Ha akira aneda ya ete vai ka orate. If you are compared to all people, there is much vertical length. You are the tallest. The referent always refers to the word immediately preceding it, so you can do some cool things by playing with the referent's position in the sentence. Have a look. Ha Eliana ira ya aima la ini. There are good feelings given to me by her, which means as much as she makes me feel good, or simply, I like her. Now, compare. Ha Eliana ira ya aima la ini vai ema. When she is compared to you, she makes me feel good. In other words, she makes me feel better than you do, or simply, I like her more than I like you. Ha Eliana ira ja aima vai ema la ini. When I am compared to you, she makes me feel good. In other words, she makes me feel better than she makes you feel. Or simply, I like her more than you like her. So the first sentence means I like her more than I like you, and the second, I like her more than you like her. So be careful with the difference. If you understand this principle, then a second way to apply the referent will be easier. Let's draw a little house. Let's see, a roof, 2 windows, a door, and, well, the rest. A house. The Ælis word for house is anuai ara. If you recall video 6 of the series where we spoke about spatial indications, then you'll remember that aneda ira means on top. We can now use the referent to combine these two words. Aneda ira vai anuai ara, above the house or on top of the house. Aneda aira vai anuai ara, below the house. Anida aira vai anuai ara, in front of the house. Anida ira vai anuai ara, behind the house, etc. Let's get back to a phrase we've used before, but with a different word order for emphasis. Iram di ira, yakka ora enve ira, hayi akira an. Please remove all valuables. Now compare. Iram di ira, yakka ora enve ira, hayi akira an vai Please remove all valuables from the body. So the referent also appears in places where we generally use prepositions in English. And finally, the referent can also be used to construct second-hand vocabulary. For example, the word speed or velocity. We define speed as a distance that can be covered within a certain amount of time. So in Ælis, the word for speed becomes a definition of itself. Akan, spatial distance, vai as, in comparison to time. Akan vai as means speed. Another example. Te vai an. People in relation to space simply means crowdedness. Another one. MV ira vai te. Valuables per person, or simply wealth. And a final example. Doe vai deo. Water per air, or simply humidity. To modify these words the same way we would use nouns and adjectives, all you have to do is rely on logic. Akira an vai as, a lot of distance compared to time, means fast. Ka ira te vai an, many people in a place, crowded. Ka ira mv ora vai te, few valuables per person, poverty. Ka ira doe vai deo, a lot of water per air, moist. So, today we've added yet another 2 powerful tools to our inventory. The characteristic, marked by the root word m, provides additional information for a syntactical argument, and it is very comparable to an adjective. The referent, marked by the root word vai, puts a word into comparison of something else. I bet this makes you wonder what we will cover in the next video. Well, stay tuned to find out.